I'm Brooke Benton. Welcome to Power Yoga. Begin in mountain pose, then inhale and reach your hands up to extended mountain pose. Exhale, swan dive all the way down to the ground, and then inhale, slide your hands up mid-shin, flattening your back. Exhale to forward fold. Bend your knees and float lightly all the way to the back of the mat. 1, 2, or 3 tricep push-ups. Feel free to drop down to the knees. You want your elbows right past the rib cage. Hover right above the mat, and then pull into upward facing dog, lifting the thighs up off of the ground. Optional tricep push-up to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high to the sky, and then step it right between the two thumbs. Lift your right hand to the side wall, opening your chest to the side, feeling that nice stretch and opening through the chest. Then you'll return the hand to the ground, bring your back foot in to meet your front foot, reverse swan dive on the inhale all the way up, and then exhale, swan dive. Down to the ground, we'll repeat the same sequence. Inhale, flatten the back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, float lightly all the way to the back of the mat. 1, 2, or 3 tricep push-ups. Please feel free to drop the knees all the way down to the ground to modify your tricep push-ups. Then hover right above the floor. Upward facing dog, lifting to the tops of the feet. Optional tricep push-up to downward facing dog. This time lift the left foot high to the sky. Then step it right between the two thumbs where the ankle lands right beneath the knee. Lift your left hand high to the sky, opening that chest, nice stretch, length through the chest while strength through the lower body. Take the left hand back down to the ground, bring right foot in to meet left, reverse swan dive all the way to extended mountain pose, and exhale, swan dive all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen the spine, flatten your back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees. Once again, float lightly to top of a push-up. 1, 2, or 3 tricep push-ups. Elbows are into the body like railroad tracks. Hover right above the ground. Upward facing dog. Optional push-up to take you to downward facing dog. Lift one leg high to the sky, bend the knee, and feel that nice stretch in your right hip. Drop that foot down to the opposite side into a wild thing. This is totally optional. You can hold your hip opener if you'd more comfortable. If you flipped your dog, you want to hold it there for about 4 seconds before flipping it back to your hip opener. Now slide that right knee right between the two thumbs into your half pigeon. If it's available to you, take the heel out a little further away from the groin than what's available to me. We're going to hold this deep pigeon for a few breaths. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable here as the glute releases and you enjoy this deep stretch. Lift the torso, raising it up, walk the hands back in. Now lift your shin barely off the ground, engaging your core, then step that right foot between the two thumbs, bring left foot in to meet it, reverse swan dive all the way to the tippy top, and we'll repeat that sequence on the left. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, lengthen the spine, flattening the back like a tabletop. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, float lightly to top of a push-up. 1, 2, or 3 tricep push-ups, trying to keep a straight line from shoulder to hip to heel if you're doing these push-ups on your toes. Drop to hover, upward facing dog. Optional tricep push-up to downward facing dog. And lift your left leg high to the sky. Bend your knee into that hip opener. And then if you flipped your dog on the other side into wild thing, let's get wild here and hold your wild thing on the side as well. Hold it, letting your head just fall back like dead weight. A couple of breaths here before turning it back to your hip opener. And then sliding that left knee right between the two thumbs. If it's available to you, pull the heel out a little further from the groin, then walk your hands out and enjoy this nice deep stretch in half pigeon. The longer you stay here, the more that piriformis is going to give and the deeper the stretch will go. Raise the torso, walk the hands back in towards the body, lift that shin barely up off of the ground, engaging your core, and then step that left foot right between the two thumbs. Bring right foot in to meet it. Reverse swan dive all the way to the tippy top. And new Sun Salutation sequence. We'll exhale and swan dive all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen the spine, flatten that back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, step or float all the way to top of a push-up. 1 tricep push-up, 2 tricep push-ups, or 3 tricep push-ups. Hover right above the ground. Upward facing dog, all the way onto the tops of the feet, thighs lifted. Optional tricep push-up to downward facing dog. And bring one knee to the opposite tricep. Other knee to the opposite tricep. 2 more times. Right knee to left tricep. Left knee to right tricep. Rise high on your toes. Bend your knees. Float forward. Reverse swan dive all the way to the tippity top. And we raise the heat here. Swan dive. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Mentally prepare for challenge. Bend your knees and float to top of a push-up. 1, 2, or 3 tricep push-ups. Drop down to hover right above the mat, chaturanga dandasana, all the way up into upward facing dog on the tops of the feet. Optional tricep push-up to downward facing dog. Rise high on your tippy toes, bend your knees, and float lightly to land the feet outside of the hands into malasana, prayer pose. Rise up, reach your hands high to the sky. Return to prayer pose. Place the hands back down on the mat. Float back, 1 tricep push-up. Float back in, malasana. Rise up, hands to the sky. Bend down, malasana, knees track same direction as the toes. Tricep push-up on the lower. There's 8 total yoga burpees here. Rising high to the sky, engage your core, lengthen through your thoracic spine. And tricep push-up. Jump forward, land lightly. Rise high into standing position, reaching your arms high to the sky. Great shoulder mobility there. Deep flexion through the knees and hips. Triceps push-up. Jump back in. Rise up. Lift those arms high to the sky. Engage your core. Deep down through malasana, prayer pose. Tricep push-up 1 time. Jump or step the feet into malasana. Rise the hands high to the sky. You can also add a jump if you'd like to intensify that lift. Tricep push-up. Jump or step in malasana. Raise the hands high to the sky. Beautiful job. Sink down through malasana. Float back. Tricep push-up. 1 more time here. Malasana. Lift up high. Deep flexion through the knees and hips. Place your hands down, lower down through chaturanga, upward facing dog. Lifting the upper body, opening the chest, tricep push-up option to downward facing dog. Rise high on your toes, and then crouch like a tiger and float lightly forward. Reverse swan dive 1 last time on the inhale. And then exhale, return to your beautiful mountain pose finish.